Okay, let's move to the next question. So you guys are working in Japan, right?
Yeah.
And have you ever experienced like culture shock when it comes to working or talking
Yes.
with Japanese people?
Yes. The Japanese working style is a very group nature,
Yes.
and so people don't really think about what they're doing. They just kind of run around and do it, and they don't really think about it, how to do it better, or am I wasting time, or like why am I doing this? I think that people they just follow directions. The boss says do this, and then they go like okay, and they're running around, and they don't really think about, okay, wait a minute, what am I actually doing? Even worse is because I am actually thinking about what I'm doing, it looks like I'm not working. To the Japanese, it looks like, well, you're just standing there. Why aren't you working? And no, I'm actually thinking about what I'm doing. And you're not doing that. You're just kind of running around here. Now you're here. It's like a hamster, And so, so I think that it's just a different idea about work. I think both have good points, because if you work together as a group, you can get things done faster, but you need a director. You have to have a boss, And in America, we like to think, anyone can be a boss, but if you have an original idea, you can get rewarded. You can actually get money from your job. If you have how do I do this better? You can get money from your job. Some companies, they'll pay you to get a better idea. Okay, can we do this better? So it's like that balance. There's good points and bad points.
I think working in Japan, mainly for a foreigner, you have to get used to the Japanese customs. But once you get used to it, it's not so bad. I mean, there's good, there's bad. I think the key is you have to decide, this is a line, and this is a line I will not cross. So you have to have your own policy. You have to have your own stance. And if you have that, I think it's very easy to work in Japan.
And I think in Japan, you guys need to read the line. 空気を読む.
So we need to do that, definitely.
That's
I think that's
true.
very important. And I think if you have some foreigners who are not good at that, I think for them it's very easy to get frustrated in Japan. But if you can do that, it's not so bad.
Yeah, I do think also, I have to say this, that right now the visa system for foreigners is not good, because you're very limited. You have a box that you can work in, and that's all. And if you have talent and you have experience, but you have a visa that says only this work, it's very hard to do something else, even though it can make your life better. That because of your visa, like a teacher visa or entertainer visa or whatever, you're in a box and you can't. Even for example, when we first came to Japan, teaching English was, you could make there was I think for 1 year, 250,000 yen. That was a guaranteed promised wage, and I think the LDP, they changed that. They erased that. So now the salaries have gone down. So we have experience, we have talents, but we can't use it because our visa says teaching only. So it's kind of a problem, in that many people, they like to freelance, they like to work free in side jobs, but the visa says we can't do that. So I think if you do it a little, it's okay, but if you make a lot of money, then the immigration and the tax ministry, they say, well, where's this money coming from? It's kind of a problem.
The most unusual thing I've ever heard was, it's difficult. In America, it's difficult means it's a challenge, but I will try to do it. In Japan, it's difficult means we can't do it.
Oh, it's interesting.
So I've had people say, I've asked people, can we do this? And they've said, it's difficult. In America, it's difficult means this is a challenge, let's try to do it. In Japan, it's difficult means we can't do that.
Because people don't like to speak directly here, so in America, we would say it's impossible. It's impossible, it means we can't do it. But in Japan, they say it's difficult means I can do it, but it's a big problem. It's a headache. It's a lot of work, And so we're supposed to say, oh, it's a lot of work, so let's cancel. But, in America, it's like, it's difficult. Well, good. Let's have a challenge. This is a challenge. This is something to make ourselves better. Not like, it's a problem and I can't do it. So we're supposed to have feelings. Oh, okay. So it's going to give you a headache. You're going to work. You're going to work late. You have to have extra time. Okay, let's cancel.
The last question: Do you guys recommend living in Japan and working in Japan for foreigners?
Yeah, definitely. I think Japan, like if you like Japanese culture and if you're interested in it, it's very nice, and Japan is very safe. I think in general, Japanese people tend to be very nice, and I like it a lot. I mean, I come from America, as all of us come from America, and in America, there's always a danger you're going to get robbed. You're going to, I don't know, you might get in a car accident and maybe the person in the other car, they have a gun or something. There's always like a real danger in America. I mean, in your daily life, no, but over the course of your life, there's danger. Like my best friend in university, he drove home from work one day and there were 3 gang members waiting at his house, and they stole his car and they stole his money, and they had guns, and it was really scary. So that kind of danger doesn't happen in Japan. So
Yeah.
I think from safety point of view, living in Japan is really nice, but also Japan is a nice place, and it's easy to live. I think it's a good place to live.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And you?
Do you want my short answer or my long answer?
I prefer long answer.
My long answer? Well, I'll give you my short answer first.
Okay.
Yes.
Really short.
My
Name a
long
few
answer? My long answer? Yeah.
That's it?
Japan is wonderful. Everything is great. The transportation is great. The food is great. The people are great. It's amazing. It's a wonderful country.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Oh,
And
really?
also, one thing really nice is in Japan, if you have like most jobs, you will have health care. And so if you have problems with your teeth, or if you have a stomach ache, or if you get a cold, or you break your finger, or any kind of healthcare problem, it's so cheap and it's so easy to get taken care of. Like sometimes you may have to wait, like it takes time, but you will always get treatment, and your life is not ruined by paying for healthcare. But in many countries, I think it's very difficult to have good healthcare.
Yeah,
And
for
especially
sure.
like dental care, I think in Japan, the dental care is the best, I think.
Oh, really?
I had maybe because when I was a kid, I ate a lot of sweets and I drank a lot of cola, so I had a lot of teeth problems before. But when I came to Japan, everything taken care of, and it's so cheap compared to America. So cheap. Like I had a crown. A crown is
Oh, yeah, I know.
yeah. I had a crown, and in Japan, like maybe from the start to the end, it cost like maybe 2,000,000. But the same procedure in America would cost like 20,000,000.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like so much more. And maybe even more. So when it comes to your health and your safety, Japan is definitely really nice.
Yeah, though I think it's the only in condition that you can get insurance, like Japanese government insurance, right?
Yeah.
And it applies to foreigners.
Yeah. I think if you have a job, yes.
Yes.
If you don't have a job, I don't know. I can't say.
Well, I think you can get private insurance here, and it's still cheaper than America. But if your job covers your insurance, that's better. And even if you have to be on the national health care insurance, which means you have to pay by yourself every month, that it's still way, way better than what you would get in America, because there's no national system We don't have a national system in America. Everything is state by state. And so in some states, you have to pay a horrible bill. And then if you go to the next state, it's much cheaper, but it's still like 10 times as much as here. And that especially is important if you're older. You know, if you're a young person and you're in good health, you know, you're like 20 years old, you go, what health insurance? Fuck! I'm going, fuck no. I need health insurance. But if you're 40, you get to be 40 or 50, and you know, you're not sure about how long your health is going to last, it's really important because you'll need medicine. You might not get, you know, like an injury or anything. Like my thumb is injured. I injured my thumb last Friday. And you might need medicine, and that's really expensive too. So it's something to think about, especially if you're older, because it's, you know, your health might not last. Now you're in great health. Now you feel great, but tomorrow you don't know. So that's really a big deal. But that said, I would say that coming to Japan now with the changes with the economy and everything, I would say if you have, like, you know, you have not just speaking English, but if you have some real skills, maybe you've worked in IT, you worked in communications, if you have some real skills that you know people want, I'd say definitely come here. Definitely come here. If you're just looking like, oh, teaching English is easy, yeah, that was 20 years ago.
Oh.
Not today. Not today. That whole market has been, you know, if you happen to be lucky and you work for a city, that's great. But most people know if you're a jet like we were, that's fine. But if you come here to work for in the private teaching market, I wouldn't do it. I would not do it. I wouldn't do it because it's a great job today, but there's no future, there's no benefits, there's no pension. You're not really building anything for your future. So I would not recommend someone do that just because they speak English. Now, if you have, like I said, you have a background in business, IT, yeah, plus teaching, plus speaking English, that's great.
Okay.
That's great. I would not say just come here to teach English because you think it's going to be good money. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea.
That's interesting.
No, it will not build toward your future. You know, because you need to think about what's going to happen 5 years from now, 10 years from now.
Yeah.
You're still going to be teaching English. You know, I'd say I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
Wasted dance, baby.